In business, Africa is making significant progress in its transition to a clean energy future, harnessing its vast renewable energy potential to address the continent's energy needs. However, for this transition to be truly successful and reap the full range of benefits, it must be accompanied by the development of fossil fuel energy resources. Despite Africa's immense fossil fuel and renewable energy potential, the continent faces high energy poverty levels and the challenge of balancing energy security, climate change, and sustainable development objectives. PwC's newly released report, tagged Africa Energy Review 2023, Africa's Challenges and Opportunities in the Energy Transition, provides a comprehensive overview of renewable energy advancement and deployment across Africa. It highlights key areas of progress and outlines the necessary steps to propel Africa's renewable energy efforts forward. Joining me from Accra, Ghana to discuss more on this is Pedro Omontuemhen, PwC Africa Oil Gas Leader. Thank you so much, Pedro, for talking to us.
Thanks for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, in the report, you indicated that progress is possible in the eradication of energy poverty and improving energy security needs, which should be considered. I'd like you to just kindly elaborate on this.
Okay, thanks so very much. So when you look across Africa, you will see bright lights and top performers. So, for example, Ghana, Kenya, and Rwanda are three countries where energy security is very high in the north of 86%, compared to probably a country like Nigeria, where we're still in the 50 to 60% of energy security. But we think that the countries across Africa are taking deliberate steps to reduce energy poverty and increase energy security using various both renewable and fossil fuel to achieve these objectives. But across the region, there are variations in the way this has been achieved. But we see progress being made by various countries to achieve both energy security and reduce energy poverty.
So looking at partnerships alongside those who will be ensuring these comes to bear, would these public-private partnership that has been alluded to be different from others already being done across the continent on various infrastructure projects?
So what we hope to happen, and what we think we should see happen in the future, is the revigorating the current partnership that exists and making the projects more attractive for private funds. As you know, private funds go to where the returns are best, whether in Africa or elsewhere in the world. So our expectation is that the current private-public partnership we have will be relooked so that a bit more security in terms of returns on investment. The terms are a bit more attractive so that you can attract funds from Europe and elsewhere in the world.
Even as we talk about what incentives might be available, we know that in Nigeria, there are a lot of oil majors who have divested some assets. And in your report, there's a projection growth for gas. I'm looking at the liquefied natural gas exports from 4% to 6%, and that is aimed at driving industrialization and energy security. Now, how feasible is this? And are there any timelines to achieving this?
Okay, so most of the Nigeria, for example, they have declared a decade of gas, and the idea is to increase both local consumption of gas and the export of gas. And with the Ukraine-Russian crisis, the need for gas from elsewhere other than Russia has become more important to Europe. We see that I know the divestment of IOCs from Nigeria, but one thing you be clear is that for those assets that have been divested, there are other companies, some of them led by Nigerians, who are willing to take up those assets. For example, in the news is the proposed divestment by ExxonMobil, and there's a company already lined up to take that up. Most of the assets that were divested by Shell in the past, there are companies that are taking that up. So I think the increase in LNG export from 4% to 6% is very, very achievable, and it's something that even with the divestment of the IOCs, we think we should actually aim for a number higher than 6%.
To finalize, there's a revelation that the Renewable Independent Power Producer Program project with dispatchable power will commence in 2023. So looking at that also, is it also possible, and what impact do you think it will have, of course, in the larger energy transition narrative?
Okay, so that part of the report actually was specifically addressing a project in South Africa being done by Scatec, which is both a solar power project of 540 megawatts and a battery storage power of 225 megawatts. And that's one of the largest solar power projects in the world, where you have a combined solar power and battery storage. As you know, for solar, the variability of the power is a big issue. So once you're able to combine both the solar power and the battery storage system, you achieve something that has become a drawback for renewable power. So we think that project is ongoing. In fact, the feedback we hear from the sources is that project will be up and running by the end of this year.
Pedro Omontuemhen, thank you so much for giving us this expose.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.